Greetings to all. So this course is Introduction to Laplace Transform. Myself, Dr. S. Hemlata from Mathematics Department, SDNB Vaishnav College, Chennai. We have huge lot of applications of Laplace transforms in engineering and physics. So we need to learn the mathematical concepts and ideas behind the Laplace transform. So before moving on to that, a bit of history behind. The person Pierre Simon Laplace who invented this, which is basically an integral transform which could convert a real to a complex variable function. So this part gives you the definition of Laplace properties and the derived thing formulas of some standard quantities, and we'll move ahead with solving some problems in this. So we'll start it with the very basic definition of Laplace. The definition of Laplace says the Laplace of f of t represented by capital L f of t is integral 0 to infinity f of t e power minus st dt, and this is a one-sided function. This is the definition of Laplace. We also have a two-sided function, but here we'll be concentrating only in the one-sided function. This, as we all know, an integral will end up in a s function. The limits for 0 to infinity acts for the t variable, so we'll be having it as some function in s parametric term, so we denote it by some other capital f of s. Now coming on to the parameter part s can also have some complex terms as its inputs. So this definition is quite important. We need to remember it. Laplace of a function is defined to be integral 0 to infinity f of t e power minus st dt. Moving on to the properties. Okay, so now that is the Laplace transform defined. What are the properties that it can satisfy? So basically any transform will start with linearity property. So we have linearity property satisfied by the Laplace transform. By applying the definition, we get this second line. Instead of the function, we can replace it by our function aft bgt. Integral properties makes us to split the function, so splitting is done, and you can pull out the ab constants and rewrite, so we get the linearity property. And these are some particular cases which you can go through and learn. The next very important property is change of scale property. Change of scale property changes the time scale from standard t to some multiples of t, so it acts as a very important property. And the very beauty of this property is when I know the Laplace of f of t, I can very well write immediately the Laplace of f of at, or in a reverse order 1 by a is in the reverse time fractional case also we can work it on. Again the proof, just I have taken this model instead of the second one. Apply the definition as per the definition of Laplace, we get this step. I need to change it into a standard form of definition of Laplace, so I am just substituting this at as some other variable. So dt accordingly will change, the limits will also change, but here the limits remains the same because when you substitute it doesn't change. Just replace every t as a u variable, then we'll be getting this format. Here we need to observe one thing. When you write the Laplace, your format is e to the power minus st. Minus is fixed. This minus is fixed. This t is also fixed. Only in parameter we can include any sort of changes. So I have just rearranged this term as s by a. Here in this step itself we have rearranged. And here this u dummy variable is replaced by a t variable. We observe this is again the Laplace of this f of t function, but the parameter is still no more s, it is s by a. So when you write the function of s term, we write 1 by a, and it is function of s by a. We used to write s for the basic definition, but here we write it as s by a. Okay. So we have seen two properties. The first is linearity property and the second one is change of scale property. We'll talk about some Laplace transform of some standard functions. Okay. First result is, what is Laplace of a 1? So replace in the integral, you can derive it to be 1 by s. Likewise, if you substitute instead of 1, you substitute k in integral of e power, you can integrate and write. In this integration, you need to be careful because you are doing the integration with respect to t. So the integral value is e power minus st by minus s. And when you apply the limits, this 0 limit gives you 1 by s, lower limit, so it's plus. And infinity is leading to 0 because e to the power of minus infinity. This is where the definition format, minus in the left and t in the right, is followed in each and every case to obtain this value. Otherwise, we will be getting infinity value and we cannot conclude the value of Laplace. So, in general, we can write it as L of k is k by s also. Second result is Laplace of an exponential function e to the power of at. When you write L of e power at, it is 1 by s minus a. Same way we can write the function by the definition, club the e power terms by the property of exponential and then integrate, you get the result. Third is the Laplace of trigonometric terms, cos and sine terms. Cos at is s by s square plus a square. This can be derived in two ways by writing e power I theta plus e power minus I theta by 2 formula also. But here I have used the real part discussion. So I have written cos at is the real part of e power I at using Euler's formula. So we have just written it. And we have clubbed it again, same way you integrate, you get this step. But we cannot leave it as it is. This is not my ending step because in denominator I have a complex function. So as we do usually, you make it a conjugate multiple. So I'll be getting a conjugate multiple s plus a and I'll be getting the real part of s plus ia by s square plus a square by using some algebraic formulas. So the real part is nothing but s by s square plus a square. When you compare the imaginary part, I will be getting the formula for sine function also. So you need not redo for your, I'll just go back to my previous slide. When you use the sine at here, you will be getting a minus. You need not do it again. Anyway, if you talk about the same sine at function, there will be a slight change in sign factor in the case because you will be writing only imaginary part. So this imaginary, otherwise the discussion is going to be same except for the imaginary part. So you will be getting it as a by a square, s square plus a square. The fourth one is hyperbolic cos and sine. So same way we write, but here we cannot write it as a real or imaginary. So we replace this cos HAT by your known formula of exponential and then recombine, split the integrals. Here I have skipped the steps because this integral to be done in the usual previous result formats and you will be ending up in this result and this result also. So if you take a LCM and simplify, this is going to be your answer. The fifth result is a t power n term is defined to be n factorial by s power n plus 1. I have just given here L of 1, L of t. And in general, if this applicable only when n is a natural number, if suppose n is not a rational number, if it's not a natural number, then you have to go for this formula using your gamma integrals. So this you can check the proof by writing your steps using integration by parts. So with this we have learned some basic definition and formulas of some standard function, and we'll move on to the further discussion in the upcoming slides. Thank you.